What's up, guys? Welcome back to MMA Today, and today I'll just cover a couple of different news topics for you. Up first, I have is Islam Makhachev. He looks like he's disappointed with the lack of promotion for his upcoming bout at UFC 284 against Alexander Volkanovski. As you guys know, this is going to be a huge historic matchup because we're going to have the number one pound for pound versus the number two pound for pound. It's very rare in the sport that we ever get to see something like this in terms of MMA or even boxing. So this is an exciting matchup between these two, as Alex is trying to get the legendary double champ status and Islam trying to get the number one pound for pound status. So I definitely agree with Islam here. I felt like this fight could have been hyped up more. I haven't seen the UFC post that much about it. Let me go ahead and see what Islam had to say about it. He sat down with R Sports Russia and he said, "I see that it's not such a big promotion. Dana White himself has some problems. He does not pay much attention to this fight. Here in Perth, everyone knows about the fight and is looking forward to it. And in terms of pay-per-view, yes, more could have been done. I only saw Volkanovski once in Sydney. A tour could be organized around the world. A news conference could be held in America." So I 100% agree with Islam here. The UFC hasn't been paying much attention to this fight. Dana White himself seems to be concerned with things like power slap and deals with Prime and Logan Paul instead of this matchup, which is pretty embarrassing. I feel like Dana White is kind of dipping himself into too many different things instead of focusing on the main thing, which is the UFC. So I feel like Dana White should be posting more about this. He should be hyping up this matchup. And why not do tours? Why not have why not have a news conference held in America? Why not have a press conference held in Sydney? I think this is kind of crazy that they haven't done that, because if you guys remember back in the day when Conor was fighting Jose Aldo, and I'm not saying that Islam or Volk is on the level of Conor McGregor, but they did everything they can to promote it. They made Conor do like little interviews. They sat down and did press conferences in different cities and different countries. So why not do that for this upcoming bout? Because Islam does sell a little bit. I think the Abu Dhabi card did pretty well, and Volk's he's not the best draw, but I believe if you combine the two together, you can get some decent numbers out of that. So I don't know why the UFC isn't trying to hype this up more. And I went ahead and looked at the UFC's Twitter pages. So I seen a post back on January 28th. Other than that, they haven't really been posting much about this fight. They haven't really been announced. They had other big announcements, but they haven't really talked about this potential matchup. And if you guys scroll up and even look, they're covering things like Prime, and they're covering things like look, you see they have the Logan Paul deal here. They posted more about Prime, 3 posts about Prime, but 1 post about Islam versus Volk, which is crazy to me. And then he's been only posting a lot about power slap. Like every single day, it looks like there's a new power slap videos, and that's my whole thing with Dana White, is that you're doing this whole entire power slap, which is getting a lot of negative reviews. All the comments are always negative about it. People are trying to get away from even looking at posts about it, but you guys keep on posting on the UFC's official page, which is pretty annoying. Like, you guys should only reserve this to UFC content. But Dana White, he has a pretty big ego, and if you try to complain to him about anything like this, he's gonna be like, "Don't watch it." Well, Dana, we're trying to avoid watching it, but you keep on putting it all in our faces. So that's kind of annoying. I have an issue with that. You should be focusing more on things like Islam and Volk instead of this nonsense and power slap and the Prime deal like that. Like, look, they just posted it once today, and that's because Islam had to complain to even get them to post about it. So that's pretty annoying. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next news story. We have Corey Sandhagen versus Chito Vera. It's going to be moved to the March 25th card, which is in San Antonio. This is great news because if you guys looked at this card, I ain't gonna lie to you, it looked pretty bad. We're gonna have Raquel Pennington and Irene Aldana. They were the main event, but thank goodness that they moved these two guys into the main event slot, which is gonna make this card even better. And it's going to help it out a lot. There's a lot of other key matchups on here, but I'm really happy that this fight is added to it. I'm going to rock with Chito here. I like Chito. I like his personality. I like the way he fights. He's pretty dangerous on his feet, and he has decent submissions. Corey Sandhagen, though, you can't sleep on him. This is a really toss-up to me. This could go either way, but Corey Sandhagen is a tough opponent. He has a lot of volume, a lot of good technique. I think that Corey's issue is, which is going to be to Chito's favor, is that he has a lack of power. Corey doesn't really have a knockout power. Sometimes with a flying knee like he did on Frankie Edgar, he can have some power to generate, or wheel kicks, but it's going to be hard to land on someone like Cheeto. Cheeto is a notorious slow starter, and he works well against guys like Corey because he's going to let you like kind of almost throw out all your moves, and then he's going to figure out your style like he did to Dominic Cruz and Rob Font. He's going to figure out his openings and just wait for it. And then if Cheeto lands on you, I'm not going to lie, it hurts. It's going to drop you. It's going to it's going to do a lot of damage. And then Rob Font, he dropped him almost every single round. So Cheeto's gonna come for that fight. I think it's gonna be a good matchup for him, but we'll see how it goes. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if Corey wins that. Let's go ahead and look at the other fights on this card. I think Chidi versus Albert Duraev is a good matchup. Chidi is a known, like, pretty good kickboxer. Duraev, I think he's more of a wrestling type. He comes from Dagestan, so we can expect him to try to wrestle. But Chidi, he has crazy knees. Even ask Gregory Rodriguez, that's the one that sliced him open. So I could see him landing a big knee on Duraev's head, and then maybe KOing him like that. Holly Holm, it looks like she's still fighting for some reason. She's been a snooze fest her last couple fights, and she's getting up there in age. She's about 41. She's probably gonna win this matchup, but I don't see her fighting much any longer. And then we have Sean Brady. He's trying to bounce back from that embarrassing loss against Bilal. Bilal's never KO'd anybody in the UFC, and you gave him his first knockout, so pretty embarrassing, I think, there for Sean Brady, but he's going to try to bounce back here against Michel Pereira. Michel, he's an exciting fighter. I'm shocked the UFC doesn't try to, promote him a little bit more as well, because he has a really fun style. He's been getting some finishes here and there, and I believe that he's now ranked in the UFC, so that's going to be nice for him to try to beat another up-and-comer like Sean Brady. And then we have Alex Perez versus Manel Kape. I like Manel Kape in this matchup. He's a more explosive guy. He's an exciting fighter. He has brutal KOs. Perez is nice as well, but he hasn't been doing good lately. He's had, I believe he's on a 2-fight losing streak, and, he's trying to bounce back from that. So I think Manel Kape can take this one as long as he can avoid those leg kicks, because Perez does have a couple of leg kick KOs. Then next we have Alex Caceres versus Nate Landwehr. I think this is a really good fight. Nate the Train is a psychopath, and Caceres is a weirdo as well. But I think that Bruce Leroy has a good chance of winning this. He had a brutal KO against Julian Rosa lately, and then Nate Landwehr beat David Onama, which is a tough fight, but that was on short notice. So Onama kind of gassed out after emptying the tank to go for the KO. So I think Caceres' length and range is going to be hard for Nate Landwehr to get up in there, and I think he can land maybe a nasty little head kick on him. So we'll see how that fight goes. Let me know what you guys think about this card as well. And then also let me know what you guys think about Islam. Do you guys think he has a right to complain? Do you guys think the UFC is doing a good job in promoting this? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you guys are new, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.